Okay, number 14. This is actually a continuation from the last question we did, and that's a scatter plot of the residuals. Okay, so let's go. Let's see. Are the assumptions, let's see here. Are any assumptions or conditions violated? If so, what would you recommend about this regression? So let's take a look at these residuals. Big problem is I'm seeing a clear pattern in the residuals. And again, we got this ourselves. So we were doing this earlier and we had our regression line. If we go over, this is the residual plot that we're looking at in the book. So it's the same thing. Just want to get a good idea here is I would like to see my residuals bounce above and below that red line, but not show any clear pattern. And this is looking like a clear pattern where they start above, drop way below, and then jump back above. So if we look at this, we see that the histogram does not look symmetric. It does not look like a nice bell curve when we're looking at our histogram. So I'm saying we've got a clear pattern, which means a linear model is probably not appropriate. Well, what we're looking at is this appears to be curved, some type of curving up as we go from left to right between our negatives below the line and positives. So that looks like this is probably not linear, even though, and this is real important, even though my r squared is very high. So you cannot rely on r and r squared alone. So I'm looking at, let's talk about r squared. 97.5% of the variation in the data can be explained by the capacity. However, now in this model, however you think, well, that's wonderful. That's an incredibly accurate model. The problem is we see that it is not linear enough. So we got to be careful what we're looking at holistically on all the different angles of the data before we can assume a linear model is appropriate.